is a typical online sexual predator case. Our skit may come across as amusing, but I hope that all of you understand the underlying message that we intend to bring across. Yes, this is not just a joke. Good evening, parents and parents-to-be. It is time for us to face the truth. Leaving your phones and tablets to your children is no longer a safe option. At this very moment, hundreds of children, boys and girls, are being preyed on the internet by sexual predators. Now, you might wonder that how does this concern you? Well, these children might be your younger siblings, might be your younger cousins, or even your future children. They are closer to you than what you think. Are you really willing to expose them to such a risk? Internet is such a wonderful tool, am I right? It helps disseminate information, to enhance connectivity, and offers a wide variety of entertainment for us to enjoy. However, there is one major problem. It is filled with liars, big fat liars, creeping behind their tiny little screens, waiting and eyeing on their next prey to fall into their traps of terror and trepidation. Well, it is a revolution that our children get to grow up in this digital playground, but hey, guess what? They are growing up with little or no supervision. It is truly surprising to realize that, based on our surveys, 50% of you responded by saying that they have rarely or never supervised on their children when they are using digital devices. This means that it is so much easier for these predators to prey on these young impressionable minds as much as they want, with no consequences, because we failed to become the first line of defense for them. And these few years, cybercrimes has been becoming the greatest domestic concern in Singapore. This is because, despite the drop in total crimes, cybercrimes actually doubled from 2014 to 2017, from 7.9% to 16.6%. And sexual grooming, which is an act of establishing an emotional connection with a child with the objective of sexual abuse, is actually one of the cybercrimes that we work together to tackle. Now, you might ask, why is sexual grooming so easily achievable? Well, this is because due to the guise of anonymity on the internet, it's easy for predators to impersonate as someone else, just as like our video from the previously shown, how Daniel can steal the photos of actually model Sean O'Pride to lure Lucy out. And innocent children like Lucy, lacking frequent communication with their parents and are uneducated on internet safety, can be easily attracted by these mysterious figures. Well, these trained predators can then further distance your child's relationship with their parents, their close ones, their sisters, their brothers, and ensuring that they are kept alone. Children that agree to meet up with the predators outside will then face a series of varying degree of sexual abuse, from simple flirtation to molestation to masturbation and eventually to rape. Now, touch your heart. Touch your heart, everyone. Are you truly willing to allow your children to be alone, helpless, in the hands of these monsters? Well, I hope the answer is no. You may put down your hands now. And this shows that it is time for us to do something. Before I pass on to Christina to elaborate further on the issue, I would like to remind all of you that we are trying to do the best for our children, and we are their hero. Thank you.
Thank you, Pei. Now, many of us here believe that it's a taboo to talk about sex, even more so if your parents were to educate you on it. I see a few of you nodding your heads away. We grew up in a relatively conservative nature, not really brought up to talk about these sensitive issues. It's all normal. There's inherently no harm in that, but if one gets hurt, are we going to continue talking? Are we going to continue keeping quiet about it? We may think that there's little to know of such cases in Singapore. Blind at first sight, but still there, lurking underneath. In fact, online sexual predator cases are getting more rampant. I've recently read an article on Straits Times showing how there has been a huge increase in the number of sexual cases over the past 5 years. It started off as 164 cases in 2011 and the highest being 272 in 2015. Surely we cannot keep quiet anymore, right? Now you may be thinking, you're sitting here in class, and you're sitting here now in class, thinking to yourself, why does this concern me? I'm no child anymore. I don't even have a child now, except for our lovely Miss A over there. Shouldn't those with children be involved? Why me? Also, from our survey that we conducted, more than 50% of us believe that predators are to be blamed. Hey, why are you so chicope? Want to prey on little girls? We can't change how they think, but we can change ourselves. What we want to do now is to prevent such cases from even happening. Playing the blame game will not bring us anywhere. These children will be broken. Their lives are shattered to pieces. They are traumatized beyond words, locked in their own isolation, and forced to move on with life with all these scars, physical and mental. Everyone has their part to play. It is in our blood to take care of the young and vulnerable. We may grow up conservative, but sharing about this to our children at an early age will not dampen any of our values that we believe in. The Association of Women for Action and Research, or AWARE, stated that better sex education will help our children think of safer decisions. So, I encourage every one of you to loosen your stance about talking about sex and maybe start a conversation about talking to your younger cousin during Chinese New Year or even Hari Raya. Secondly, it is more common to see that children these days are fixated on their phone screens and all. We don't talk to our parents often as we may not know what we're gonna talk to them about. But this certainly should not be an excuse to not intervene in them. Your small actions might help change the child's life tremendously. Be it a nudge to the child when you observe them using their phone more often, or monitoring them more often, or even extending out to helping other children. You can help the child out of their miserable state and actually watch them grow well. Thus, I will end my speech urging everyone to take responsibility today. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Now let's look at 3 alternative possibilities should we take action. So, our first scenario, we have a child that we taught do's and don'ts of the internet, and this child is very obedient and very well taught. So this child does not accept unknown friend requests from strangers, and this child does not talk to strangers online. Next, maybe we have a very curious child. Although we have taught this child well, this child goes ahead and talks to strangers online. But we have reminded this child numerous times about how they should use the internet. Hence, they stop there, they do not progress further. Also, we have a strong bond with this child. Hence, we are kept well informed about this new friend that the child has made, and we are able to keep tabs. Third, we have a risk-taking child. This child might be slightly rebellious and have a strained relationship with us. So, in talks to strangers online, tells them about their personal information, and perhaps even agrees to a meetup. But because we have heightened attention when it comes to this child, we monitor their online activity, and thus we are able to intercept this meetup, and we can halt any further progress. So, motivated? Well, I don't think you are convinced yet. Maybe you are thinking, oh, this won't happen to my child. But let me tell you a story. My parents probably thought the same thing. So when I was in upper primary, I actually created a Skype account. And well, I accepted an unknown friend request from a guy, and we started to talk. He started the conversation, and I just carried on because I thought it was interesting. And one day, I finally realized that he was actually in his late 30s. Now, the alarm bells are probably going off in your head right now, but back then, I was young, dumb, curious, bored, and the list goes on. So that's how easily children can actually fall prey to online predators. Because they are just that simple-minded. Hence, it's necessary for us to take action. Okay, so the basic that we have to do is to educate them. And then we have to warn them, and we also have to remind them. But next, we should also strive to build trust with our children and perhaps foster a more open parent-child communication channel so that they'll feel more willing to talk to us. Conversations can range from what they did in the day, who they met, to more serious topics such as even their relationship problems. Although this will be time-consuming and it will require a lot of energy, it will be worth it in the end because their childhood is the most important phase of their life. Okay, if your child doesn't respond to all of these methods, and perhaps you feel that there's something amiss, it might be necessary to monitor any unusual online activity or even excessive internet usage. Although you will think this is so extreme, it's invasion of privacy. However, John F. Kennedy once said there are risks and costs to every action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. If our fear of their response leads to us delaying action or total inaction, it will pose a far greater risk to them. We are responsible for teaching our children to protect themselves, as well as protecting them until they are old enough to discern good from evil. We cannot rely on schools to educate them. We have to start in our homes. Although they will not retain everything we say, it will subconsciously guide their actions. Just like how prevention is better than cure in the case of disease, let us not try to fix problems only when they arise. Let us strive to stop them from even happening in the first place. Sometimes there is no sufficient compensation for the damage that is done, and some things cannot be reversed. So let us put in the effort and give more attention to our children today. Let us take precautions and remember what has been said. First, to be the hero and to take responsibility. And finally, let us start today. Just imagine what would have happened in the case of Lucy had we stepped in. Thank you.
Looking for affection and attention, and they're actively looking for affection online. So these predators will target them, and they will sense some isolation, and they are emotional stigmatized from their family. So they are the greatest young people that are targeted in Singapore. And secondly, the predators will then approach them. They will search up information on them through social media, Instagram, Facebook. Then they will try to use the information to communicate with the children, to learn about them, have some common topic, then to build up the relationship. Then as relationship is getting more stable, they will buy them presents, give them sweet talks to stabilize the relationship. And soon after, they will try to sexualize the conversation. They will try to introduce some questions like, have you ever had sex? Or what kind of guy, what kind of person are you in love? Do you like? These kind of questions. And they will ask for meetups. And after this relationship is built and the children is isolated from all the other people, then molestation, masturbation, and rape can be involved, and the sexual predators will try to use guilt and warnings to stop the children to approach help from others, and that's how a sexual grooming case occurs.
Any other questions?
I have one question. So usually when we are young, our parents don't usually tell us about sex or anything. So how do parents can start talking about sex with their younger ones?
Thank you for your question. Please grant me some time to think. Okay, so firstly, I would like to group into different age groups. So one group can be primary school and the other one will be secondary school kids. So for the parents, if they are dealing with their primary school kids, they can educate them on what is considered good touch or bad touch, and the importance of having personal space. So with that ingrained in their head, so they know if the stranger is being a little bit too suspicious, so hopefully they will alert the parents. As for secondary school kids, you can up the term and say oh, it's a violation and a harassment if they do touch you in these areas. So they have a better, clearer picture, and they will know what to do to protect themselves rather than being vulnerable to these predators. Hope that answered your question. Thank you.
My question is to Claire. Claire, so you were saying that you were naughty when you were in upper primary. You talk about that. What were the repercussions? What happened after that?
Okay, so actually we stopped talking eventually, but I can't remember why exactly we stopped talking. But I think when I saw that he was 38, then I was like, what is this? Then at first I was a bit confused, so I continued for a while, but after that I think it just died down by itself. But he didn't get too personal as far as I remember.
Okay.
But it's just a potential situation.
So did your parents know about it?
No. No, my parents never bought now.
So it was a good thing for you that he wasn't persistent.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think I would have had the sense to not go further.
What was it that caused you to sense that he was 38?
I asked him directly, how old are you? Because he asked me my age first. So I asked him back. So he told me, then I was like, okay. I don't think he was lying, right?
He knew that you were 11, 12?
Yeah, 12 or 12.
All right, thank you very much.